Welcome back to the channel, everyone. I wanted to give you an update on the podcast that we talked about doing in the actually launching at the end of August or the first week of September. Unfortunately, there were some things in my family that prevented me from doing that. All of us are in that situation where we, as we get older, have aging parents. Mine live back east, so it's not very easy for me to just jump in and help with things, but I had to make some decisions about my mom and some of the things that are going on in her life right now as she turns into her late 80s now. It's one of those things where you just kind of got to jump in. Before we get into talking about the podcast, please take a minute to like and subscribe and also share with your friends. That's how we build this channel, and I so appreciate it. We have noticed a lot more in the analytics that people are sharing the content of the channel, and I really appreciate that. But I've also noticed that a lot of you come through and you don't actually subscribe to the channel. You might leave a like and you might leave a comment, but you're not subscribing to the channel. I really wish that you would do that. My goal is to hit 20,000 subscribers by the end of the year. I think that's very reachable and doable. So I am going to ask for that in this particular video. But I want to get back to the podcast and talk more about how this is all going to come together and when I'm hoping to launch. I'm hoping to launch the podcast the first week of November. Now, I've got a lot going on. I have a daughter-in-law that's going to have my second grandchild, which I'm very excited about. We've got a little boy coming. Victor, who will be part of our family here on the 25th of November. That's the date that she is scheduled to have her C-section. But babies come when they want to come, and I have people in my family that are medical people that deal with babies a lot, and they say that they don't think she's going to make it that long. So we could have some surprises. Hopefully that's not going to prevent us from launching the first week of November, but that's the goal at this point here. That's what I'm looking at. Now, a few other things have changed as well. I am going to be using this backdrop right here for my podcast and rearranging all of this gallery here, and we're going to have a completely different look to what's going on behind me here. And this tank here is going to go. We are going to add about 4 inches in height to this tank and put a new tank in here that I think everybody's going to love, and it's going to be something really, really special as far as I'm concerned, and I'm really excited about it because the object here is to give myself a backdrop here that is absolutely stunning. And I've made some decisions about what kind of fish are going to go into that tank. It's something that I am totally away from right now, but have been invested in the past. In fact, my son was very much into these particular fish for a very long time, and that is African cichlids. I'm excited because of the colors and the availability of different kinds of fish. I don't know which lake we're going to be choosing those from, but I do know that we're going to keep it an honest theme of whichever lake, Malawi, Victoria, whatever lake that these cichlids are going to come out of. We are going to keep the fish native only to that particular area and nothing else. And we're going to work from there to make this an absolutely fantastic backdrop here and make it feel a little bit homey, but at the same time give you something stunning to look at whenever I am doing my podcast. Now, we're planning to still have the podcast on Thursday evenings, right around 6 o'clock in the evening, West Coast time. If some of you think that we should move that up, please let me know, because I can still do that. I cannot go any earlier than 5 o'clock West Coast time because my schedule does not permit for me to do that. But if we need to go to 5 o'clock and most of you are interested in a 5 o'clock viewing of that podcast, let me know and I will absolutely make some changes here. But if everyone's content with a 6 o'clock, which would be 9 o'clock West Coast time, and overseas. There's a lot of people right in the middle of their day, so a lot of availability. We have people from all over the world that watch this channel, so I want to include them and hope that we can get a lot of people in. I'm hoping to have a couple of things. In the first month, I want to talk a lot about getting into the hobby, how you start out, how you do it right, and how you get yourself in a situation where you feel like you're doing it so well that you never want to quit. Because if you do things wrong at first and you start out with a lot of headaches and heartaches, you're going to get out of this hobby, as I've said many, many times before. So we're going to focus on that. We're going to concentrate on talking about setting up tanks, escaping tanks. We're going to talk about water parameters. We're going to talk about things that can go wrong when you're first starting out. We're going to talk about being patient. And we're going to have a lot of fun things on the podcast in the first couple of months that are going to be dealing with those of you who are just starting out. And I'm relying on a lot of my followers to and subscribers to actually chime in and give us good information on what you think is going to be some of the things that people should know, very important things when you're starting out in this hobby. I'm expecting that a lot of you out there are going to come up with some great ideas and great questions, and also some great answers on how we get going on a hobby like this and keep it fresh and keep it nice and keep it in a way that makes us want to continue on. Because the honest God's truth is that so many people that get into this hobby within the first 2 or 3 months, they're out of the hobby and they're out of it forever. So it's very important to get a good start on it. Thank you for joining me today. I wanted to give you an update on the podcast. It's going to be fantastic. Microphones are in place already. New camera equipment is in place already. We have microphones that are really top-notch microphones that are going to be not only for me, but for any guests that might show up on the channel and make an appearance. And also lighting is going to be fantastic. We've got some great light situations that are coming in. I'm really digging deep here to make this thing work and work well for you. Thank you for joining me today. We will see you on the next one. Until then, we're out of here.